Hey everyone, Leo with Dreaming Tree, and welcome to the assembly video for our green bauble ornament. Very, very simple, very, very quick, super festive. I think this is one of those projects that you can get together with a friend, family member, loved one, even a child, I think can handle this one. But again, we've got some beautiful real glitter paper, and we're just gonna join these all together until we have our ornament. So the main thing you want to do here is just make sure that you're alternating colors. So it would be helpful just to kind of get them situated so that they're alternating, and we'll just pop right into it. So we're going to grab one side. This is the top actually, and this is the bottom. And we're just going to start kind of smushing them together. The main thing you want to do here is just make sure that you are getting enough glue to the outside, the perimeter of this thing. Okay, so I'm actually going to take and I'm going to spread that glue out to the very edge of the outside, and then just take the next layer, and I'm literally just going to kind of squish it like this. And then you can kind of run your finger along the very edges to make sure everything is nice and lined up, and then even use your table to press down to ensure that everything is making nice solid contact. Okay, and that looks great, and you can see what we're doing here. The main focus is just to make sure that these seams are nice and flush, which is why we're taking that glue and spreading it out all the way out to the very edge. Okay, so I've got gold, I've got green, now I'm going back with the gold, and I'm going to apply the glue to this piece here. And as I mentioned, just make sure that you're getting that glue all the way out to the very edge of your ornament. Okay, grab the next piece, line it up, and again, just kind of using my finger here. You can also use your table to make sure that everything is nice and flat and nice and aligned. And then once it is, you can press down, get that next layer in place. Okay, and let's take a look at the seam. The seam looks great. And I wasn't sure about the white seam, but I actually love the contrast that it provides. If you don't like it, you could technically ink that if you want, but I think it looks gorgeous. Okay, so we've got gold, green, gold. Moving on to the next green piece. Okay, so just like we did before, we'll kind of close it up, apply our glue mostly around the perimeter. Okay, spread that glue out all the way to the very edge. Wipe your finger off, obviously. Make sure you've got a green piece, line that up. Use your surface to press that down to make sure that it is in fact flush, and then use your finger to kind of feel and make sure everything is nice and aligned. It's actually very simple and very quick. You can make a ton of these, I'm sure, in no time. The glitter paper obviously is going to take a little more time because it's a little thicker. And also, it's not as, well, your standard cardstock like this is a prototype. It's more porous, so the glue kind of flows in between the paper fibers a little bit easier. So if you are doing it with glitter like I am, just make sure you allow yourself a little extra time to make sure that everything sets nicely. Okay, so again, focusing that glue around the perimeter, spreading it out all the way to the very edge. Okay, we'll grab the next piece using our table, make sure it's flat, and then also just kind of pushing on it and feeling with our fingers to make sure that it's all nice and aligned. I think if it's slightly off, probably won't notice too much, but we do want to try to get it as accurate as possible. Okay, and then what we'll do to kind of so that we can hang it, before we close it all the way up, we're gonna put a string in there and kind of glue it to the inside. Okay, so I've got gold, green, gold, green, gold. Next up is a green piece. And even despite the thickness of the glitter paper, this is still very manageable in my hand. It doesn't feel too thick, at least not yet. It should be fine. Okay, spread that glue out to the very edge, like so. Grab your next piece, use your table to make sure it's all lined up. Use your fingers to feel the alignments and just press it into place and press down. Hello there, Mr. Spider. Okay, give that a really good press. And there you have it. Check that seam. Looks pretty seamless to me. Looks pretty darn good, okay? All right, so we just did green, so we're moving on to gold. And let's get that glue flowing. I think it's gonna be time to clean out my nozzle a little bit here. Probably do that before the next project, or not. Okay, try that again. I think it was nice and clogged up. Okay, spread that glue out. There we go. And grab the next layer. Again, I'm just putting this flat on my surface, pushing down, make sure it's all super flat, and then checking the alignment. There we go, perfect. And give that a good press. There we go. Wonderful. Okay, looking at that seam, looks pretty good. Okay, and finally, we have one more green piece here. Let's get our glue going. Work that perimeter a little bit on the inside. Spread that glue out to the very edge. There we go. Grab the next piece. Just kind of line it up. And then again, I think the key here is going to be using your surface, pressing down on it, making sure that it's making contact with your surface. And then you can go ahead and start pressing down. And there we go. Okay. Perfect. All right. So there it is. Ultimately, we're going to close it up by joining these two last sections together. And there is the beautiful ornament. Now, what we want to do before we do that is grab our string that we're going to use to hang it from our tree or wherever you decide to hang it. I've got a little, it's kind of bunched up here. Let me just fix that real quick. I am not a very good untier or knot unknotter. Liesel's really good at this. I can get it eventually, but there we go. Okay, so figure out how much you want. I think, it's good to have a little extra rather than having it too short, because it's one of those things, act now or forever hold your peace sort of things, because once we get it in there, it's pretty much done. Okay, so I'm going to go about that much. Okay, and that means that we can take and trim this. Okay, so that's going to go right in there. And if you want, just to make this easier, before we close it up, if you want, you can throw a little bit of hot glue in there, just to really make sure it doesn't move while we glue the rest of it together. I think I'm going to do that just to be safe. What you can also do, just so that there's no problems while we do this, you could even take a little piece of Scotch tape, hot glue, Scotch tape, whatever it may be. I'm going to take a little piece of Scotch tape and just tape these two strands together at the bottom. Okay. There we go. And figure out where I want this. and how much I want sticking out. Okay, and then you can literally just take and just add a little dab of hot glue anywhere pretty much where the string meets the paper. Okay. You could probably get away with just using regular glue for this. Okay, but that's where I want it. And then I'm going to take and apply my glue just to one half of this. You don't need to put it on both halves, just like we did before. And then I'll put a little bit here. Spread that out to the very edge. Boy, it's dry. You can tell it's dry because this glue lately has been drying very fast. And then just go ahead and line up these two sections as accurately as you can. I don't think I want to flatten this out on my surface to join it right now. I think I'm gonna just do this in 3D, so to speak. Make sure that that string is nice and centered. Okay, and then I'm gonna give it a little press. I'm not gonna fold the whole thing over, just maybe 3 sections, just so that this top part here is nice and flush. Okay, and there we go. And there it is. And then what you can do, and we'll make sure to include links to these little pearls. We have these little pearls that are hollow inside. There's a little hole. And if you're using similar string to what I'm using here, what I found was twisting it to make it nice and tight is the way to feed this through. It's almost like threading a needle. That tip needs to be nice and straight. And just kind of pop that through. Get in there, buddy. And then pull it. And you can feed the little pearl down and then let it loose if you want, so that it doesn't go anywhere. You could technically put a little bit of hot glue at the bottom of this, although I don't think it's necessary. And then finally, actually, you know what? It may be a good idea to put a little drop of hot glue on there, just in case you take this thing off the tree and it's laying there and then this guy comes falling off. So maybe we'll do that. And then finally, I'm just gonna take and glue one more with some hot glue just to the bottom. And you can jazz this up with whatever little embellishments you have or want to use. I'm gonna go ahead and just finish this off and then we'll call it a day. Also, if you want to jazz this up even more, you can feel free to add a little bow to the actual string that will hold this up on the tree. Okay, so there is my little pearl at the top. Just one tiny little dot of hot glue should do. And then we'll do the same thing on the bottom. Just throw a little dot right on the bottom, make sure it's nice and hot. Then take your little pearl, pop it right on the bottom. Make sure that you let that dry completely. Okay, and there you have your beautiful little ornament. Again, take a look at the photo. You can see where I positioned the little bow. Totally optional, but very quick, very cute little ornament. Especially if you do a bunch of these, you can totally dress up your entire tree with just paper, which would be really cool. So that's gonna do it for our green Bauble ornament. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please take a moment, visit us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. While you're there, hit the little bell so you get notifications anytime we release a new product, whether it be paid or free. And if you make this or anything from our festive ornaments bundle, I'd love to see it, and so would the rest of our community. So head over to your Facebook and do a search for Dreaming Tree Official, or you can type in this little URL that you see here at the bottom of your screen. So happy ornament making, and as always, I look forward to crafting with you again. Hey, thanks for crafting along with me. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, check out some of our other videos, and also please consider hitting that subscribe button. And don't forget to visit our site and check out our free SVG section, where we have over 140 free SVG files complete with assembly videos. I look forward to crafting with you soon.